Hey everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make minimal deep tech house, PAWSA, Beltran, wheat style. As usual, you can get the full project file, samples, MIDI, presets. The entire template from this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It's a great way to take your tracks to the next level right now. Today, you'll make better tracks, I promise, if you grab this right now. Link is at the top of the description. Thanks for the support, guys, and let's dive in. Alright, so we're at 127 BPM, a little bit faster for house. And the first thing we got going on here is the low end. Now, house music is always based, it's really sitting on top of that main groove with the low end. This stuff, especially though, like if you listen to this track, see, the low end is like 50% of what you're hearing, right? When I take it out, it's super empty. So it starts with a kick, always. We got this nice fat kick. Right? I've got, a little bit of a subcut on that so you can hear without it. It's a little bit too heavy. It kind of weighs the track down. This just opens it up, and then we're converting it to mono. Then we have the bass line. So this is playing a really simple melody, right? It's just two notes. So we're in the key of G sharp here, G sharp minor, if you want to look at it like that. It's the root note and the fifth, and then just a root note and octave up. If I play it, you can hear this melody. Right, just really simple melody. For the sound, it's made with Operator. It's a sine wave with a little bit of FM from another sine wave. This is a really great way to make these basses because you can get, like a really deep sine wave bass, but add a little bit more texture to it with the FM. We're just low passing it a little. There's a pitch envelope because you want these basses to be like pretty punchy. So it grooves off the kick well. I've got it sidechain, and then we're just doing a subcut a bit higher on this. I'm finding with these more minimal house tracks like this, a lot lately, you really want the bass line to kind of sit on top of the kick. Like the kick is really where that deep low end is coming from. And then this is more like cut and then just letting it groove more rather than really weigh the track down. And then we're converting that to mono. And the last thing we got is this little kick. This thing. So this is what I mean with the low end. There's a lot going on, and that's really what creates a lot of that groove. So you get that by having, the kick and the bass line are obviously grooving. And then you add in this other thing. Right? And you can hear that plays off the bass line and off the kick, and then it adds even more groove. So this is really simple. It's just a kick pitched down a little bit. There's no filtering or anything. You really just got to listen for the right sample that's going to sit in that groove well. Alright, so then we got the hi-hat. This main hi-hat on the upbeats. We got 3 layers. It starts, this is the main one you're hearing. Right, like a very nice, kind of hi-hat. And then we have a little tambourine. Plus this one. You can see those two kind of fill out the high end. And there we go. So even though it sounds like a small hi-hat, there's 3 layers to make it really stand out. This has the tiniest bit of reverb. We're converting it to mono as well because sometimes you can get phasing issues with these different samples. And then we're cutting out the lows and boosting the highs a little bit. We have this clap. Just a really short clap. This is a new one I created for this. You can see all 3 of these main drums are really short, and that's what adds to a lot of the groove. So then we have this. So this is this drum rack. It's got a bunch of these drum synth Max for Live patches. And basically it's just creating a little bit of background percussion. And then we have some effects on it. So I'm using resonators and grain delay here. So I'll show you. Here's what it just sounds like dry. Then we got the resonator with a little bit of an LFO moving the note. Just adding a little bit of metallicness to it. The grain delay adds a bit of texture. Then sidechain, high pass it. And I'm bringing the width down with the utility as well. We have this tambourine. Kind of under that. And then we have the first percussion group. So this is all of this kind of like synthy percussion. So obviously these tracks are very simple, especially if I just show you the elements that we've talked about so far. There's not much going on there, right? So you need these kind of like more interesting, like synthy, textured percussions like this to bring it to life. This is essentially like the lead in these kinds of tracks, right? So we've got a bunch of layers here. So it starts here with this drum rack. It's more of these drum synths. They're really good for these minimal tracks, right? I'm just using them to kind of create some background percussion. Like if I play that with the clap and the hi-hat. And then I've got this drum rack down here. Again, just more, drum racks from the library over here. We got this drum synth rack. Right, you can see that kind of sits. We got some operator percussion. A bit of noise with some filtering and then a grain delay. More operator. Kind of like this FM stab here with some sine waves. And a bit of echo and stuff. We have this effects. Right, so it's pretty simple stuff. It just all adds up and creates this groove. And then we're sidechaining that. Then we have this group of percussion. So what we're doing here is we're creating all these glitchy layers of percussion by basically taking these loops. These are some of my percussion loops from some of my sample packs, right? I'll play them for you. Like it's literally like full drum loops. Right? But you can see you put it on this beats warp mode and then you pitch it up. And it gets all glitchy. And then this is another one of those. So I have those kind of grooving off of each other, right? Underneath everything. I have this Ableton rack here called Spectralizer. I grabbed it from the audio effect rack presets here, like these modulation ones, I'm pretty sure. And basically I'm using that. I've got a bit of sidechain and then we're high passing it. Again, just more like detail layers. That you can hear in the percussion that really brings it to life. So then we've got even more of that here. So this is the same technique. This is like taking, these different... These are from my Ultimate Drums sample pack. But yeah, it's just like some live percussion. And when you pitch it up like that, it's the same thing. Beats warp mode, pitched up a ton. It creates something very cool. So we've got those grooving off of each other. And then the only effect on there is just a little bit of sidechain. And then we just have this little drum rack for a little bit more percussion here. So what's happening here is basically it starts its life out like this. It's just a bunch of different sounds in a drum rack. Right? And then we're putting that through a little bit of resonator. Overdrive. High pass. And then a low pass filter, which has this LFO doing quarter note like saw up. So it kind of gives it a little bit of movement, sidechain it, and then you get this nice little background percussion. Right? You can hear it just pops in there every 2 bars or so. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely don't miss that, guys. It's a great value, and this is the best thing you can do right now. You could grab this today, right now, and instantly make better tracks. There's very few things that you can get that will do that. This really actually will help you. I promise. I put a ton of time into studying these tracks so you guys can get the best template on the market, and it's at an accessible price so we can all win here. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.